In Afghanistan have been honoured in Belfast today. Troops from the Royal Irish Regiment and the Irish Guards have been taking part in a homecoming parade. And we can now join Mark Mallet at Balmoral Showgrounds.
Thank you very much indeed, Sarah. Very good evening to you from the Balmoral Showgrounds in South Belfast. Well, thousands of people attended the event earlier this afternoon, which ended just over an hour ago. But it was feared that there would be disruption caused the event as army bomb experts and police had to deal with a security alert. A suspect's package had been abandoned outside licensed premises just opposite the King's Hall in Belfast. It was later declared an elaborate hoax. Well, today marks the 10th anniversary of the start of the war in Afghanistan, something the Chief of General Staff recently described as the war of our generation. Well, during the last year, soldiers from the Royal Irish Regiment and Irish Guards played their part in trying to bring peace and stability to the country. Today, their service was recognised. Rapturous applause, the bands of the Irish Guards and the Royal Irish Regiment opened this military review and service. The regimental mascots Clonmel and Brand Baruch led the Guards of Honour, followed by soldiers from both regiments onto the parade ground. Watched on by thousands of their family, friends and supporters, this was a hero's welcome back from Afghanistan, but also a chance to reflect on the 6 men who were killed during that 6-month operation.
Those of you on parade today have memories and experiences that are etched deeply. We share with you thoughts of the fallen, the injured, and of course those from other battalions and regiments who joined you through a hard 6 months in a harsh and dangerous environment.
During the recent tour of the country, which ended in April, the Irish Guards and the Royal Irish Regiment were at the sharp end, working in partnership with the Afghan National Army and the police in the most demanding of conditions.
My soldiers will be touched that this number of people have decided to come out and show their support. And as I say, soldiers will feel twice the man with that feeling of support behind them.
Well, it's very important for the troops to know how much support there has been back home, but it's also important for the general public to get their opportunity. Many of them have done it by way of sending packages and sending support to the men when they were in theatre. Here's a real opportunity for people to show that support in a physical way.
The soldiers were presented with specially minted commemorative medallions from Belfast City Council, a proud moment for them and their families. Well, the Royal Irish Regiment and the Irish Guards risked their lives during the conflict in Afghanistan. 3 members of the Royal Irish Regiment were killed during their operation there. Aaron McCormick, David Dalzell and Stephen McKee. Well, today their friends and family paid tribute to their bravery, as Aidan Kennedy reports.
A day to mark the bravery of the troops, and here to support them are family and friends. For members of the Royal Irish Regiment and the Irish Guards, this is a poignant and fitting tribute to their life-saving work in Afghanistan.
Well, it's fantastic, particularly for One Royal Irish to be back home in Northern Ireland. We've soldiers from north and south of the border who are delighted for an opportunity to get home, see their friends and family, and be so well hosted by the people who have given us so much support over the past year.
It means everything to me. It's my son's out, and I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of all the boys.
From the 2 sons served in Iraq, it was very important to know that the people here were behind them and praying for them, thinking of them.
I think it means a great deal to them for morale. It's a boost to their morale, and obviously in times are low out there and their lowest day, they can look at this and say, well, the guys back home are 100% with us, so very important to them too.
For Ranger Gareth McKee from Banbridge, this is a difficult but important day. In March, his brother, Lance Corporal Stephen McKee, died after his vehicle hit an improvised explosive device in Helmand Province.
It's words can't even describe, but you know, it's a hard time. Like, you never think it's going to happen to you, but it does. So it's very hard, and it still does. It'll take a long time to get over.
So how important is it for your family and friends to be here today?
It means a lot. Just we're here to obviously give our thanks for the ones that fell for us.
During the tour, the troops showed unparalleled bravery. Guardsman Michael Moutry was awarded a Queen's Commendation for saving his commander's life. And is there a real sense of pride when you're back doing a display like this?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously we do these kind of things in England all the time, but this is where we're all from, all the Northern Irish lads, so it's nice to get home and see all the support from the locals.
The sun shone today on the troops as they received their battle honours, their loved ones paying tribute to their bravery and recognising the sacrifice of those who lost their lives. Aileen Kennedy, UTV Live at the King's Hall in Belfast.
Well, with me now is Lieutenant Colonel Chris Geeko of the Irish Guards. A very good evening to you. How important will today's event have been to your officers?
Well, I think hugely important for the men of the Irish Guards and the Royal Irish Regiment to see the benefit and see the welcome given to them by the people of Belfast.
What were conditions like during that tour of Afghanistan?
Demanding. The weather itself was difficult, very, very bitterly cold in the winter. But also the insurgents were active. They're an extremely professional group, and so we faced enemy attacks on an almost daily basis.
And of course your regiment also suffered losses and a number of your soldiers were wounded.
Indeed, 3 Irish Guardsmen were killed and some 30 wounded, so it was not without loss.
We know that history will write the final chapter of this conflict in Afghanistan. The government wants to pull out by 2014. Are we heading in the right direction?
I would say absolutely. There are 2 parts to this. First of all, building up the Afghan army and police so that the people of Afghanistan can have confidence in their local governance structures, but also it's about instilling confidence in local communities to reject the insurgent influence, and I think it's absolutely achievable by 2014.
In terms of what happens over the next number of years, do you see a situation where the Irish Guards will have to be redeployed to Afghanistan?
Well, I think the Army has a process for sending people on operational tours. We will take our part in that, like everyone else. We will plan to send people back to Afghanistan, yes.
Okay, Lieutenant Colonel Chris Geeko of the Irish Guards, thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening. And that's it from the Balmoral Showgrounds this evening. The homecoming events take place throughout the weekend. There's a further event in Newton Ards tomorrow and then Castlereagh on Sunday. But for now, it's back to the studio and Sarah.